What's up, y'all? Kyle Hamilton here. I want to give a quick shout out to Lucas, Connor, and Ryan in the Week Zero podcast.
Already open, running out of time, finally throws, and it is gone! Touchdown, Tyrell Roberts!
Hit backwards, up in the air, it's on the ground, it is down! It is over! And the Irish have knocked off number one Clemson!
Herbert's got it. Stiff arm again. Quarterback in the clear. Inside the 10. A hat-trick, a touchdown from Justin Herbert.
Hello and welcome. Yes, this is weird because I am hosting this week. You can see Connor, he is very tired. He wasn't actually supposed to even be on the show this week, but I'm glad he made it.
Literally made it by the skin of my teeth. I literally just finished ordering a pizza from Papa John's, and because I finally have finished moving enough stuff to where I'm on my couch and stuff. I'm just sitting on my couch.
Awesome.
It was an ordeal today. Left at like 9. Literally woke up at like 7. Still had shit to pack. Drove. Took us 7+ hours. We had to hire new movers halfway through, or new people to help to meet us to move stuff in, because the other people canceled. So it was so
a Ryan situation. I see.
Yeah. So the two people that were supposed to help us called out or didn't show up, and then the one guy who was still like available who ran it, he was driving to meet us, and his engine literally blew.
That's wild. Well, everybody, welcome to the Week Zero podcast. I am your host this week, Lucas. Georgia by 46. I called it that they were going to win by 46. I said this before the game. McKnight.
No,
we got
Luke Stradamus.
Luke Stradamus. Yes, my last name is McKnight, so they can call me Magic Mac, or was it Mystic Mac? What Conor McGregor used to call himself. So then, right to the side of me, we got Ryan, 17.5 point underdog question mark Preble.
What was that even referring to?
We were referring 17. To them being 17.5 point underdogs, still losing by 11.
Hey, we covered the spread. We covered the spread.
Probably won some money.
So wait, are we all like moved to our new locations?
I think Lucas is the only one not to.
Lucas hasn't.
I'm not quite moved, but I will be next weekend. So next Friday's show is going to be interesting. And then we have Connor. I'm in Spain without the S. Doherty.
Right, literally, actually. I'm tired and I'm physically drained right now.
And just sad. We feel bad for you. Yet you did call it like I called my Ducks losing to Stanford last season. So that is okay. It makes everybody feel a little bit better. So, starting us out, Ryan, if you want to hit our banners, because I cannot, because I'm not as cool as them.
I got it.
Our first topic to talk about, the college football. Okay, you're going to do Utah Falls to Florida first.
Actually, no, I got it. I got it. I got it. No, I got it.
We had to mess up at least once. So college football expansion. So we have heard that they want to do it as soon as 2024. What are your guys' thoughts about this? We spoke about it quite a bit last week. Honestly, I think it's awesome. I mean, I think it's super cool that they're pushing it forward this far rather than 2026. And we'll get to the AP poll in a moment.
I figured I'd just pull it up so we can kind of segue into it.
I do think it's awesome that they're going to push it to 2024. I still think that an 8-team playoff is probably best, and I think we're going to see that after watching a 12-team playoff, which is pretty hilarious because
I don't think they would ever go from 12, go up to 12, and then go back down to 8, because the amount of money they'd be making for 12 would be a lot more than they would make from 8.
I could see it only because we could see some really, really bad, pointless blowouts when really the number 12 team.
When we're already doing a 4-team playoff.
I don't think quite as bad, but I do think that like the number 12 team could end up playing another team in a bowl game, like a GoDaddy.com bowl or something like that, making some other money for whatever else. I did think it was pretty funny because a lot of people after the Georgia game, a lot of people were commenting, how do you guys feel about the new 12-team playoff? Because Oregon was number 11 and Georgia was number 3 and absolutely slaughtered them. So I think it is kind of hilarious to see that.
Well, what are you guys' thoughts on them moving it up from 2026 to 2024, trying to get it here sooner? I mean, it seemed like it was just a big, huge turnaround from not even a couple months ago, or was it in January when they had the votes and they said not to expand?
I think the expansion kind of happened because the potential for two super conferences has come up, and so they probably don't want that to happen. So to keep that from happening, where you have the SEC and the Big Ten absorb most of the half of the the ACC's top dogs, the Big 12's top dogs, and the Pac-12's now expanded, and even if it was just to 8, now that would be like, hey, we want at least 4, if not 5 conferences, plus we want the best group of 5 teams to make it. And this would give teams the incentive to at least stay in our conferences while still being able to now compete potentially, because obviously you'll at least have one guaranteed team from every single thing, whereas we've only had one Pac-12 team in the playoffs in 8 years. 2? What was the other team?
We've had a total of 2
Oregon.
2 Pac-12 teams since the college football playoff started, and that was Oregon and Washington.
And then we've had one Big 12 team, but it's been Oklahoma multiple times. We've had
realistically we should have had 3. TCU and then
Baylor.
Yeah.
2014 or 15. Yeah.
But
I think
nonetheless,
that's part of it.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense because I think they got scared by all the realignment stuff, and that kind of scared them into wanting to keep them from that continuing and worsening down the line.
Well, I didn't even think about that.
Because now instead of having UNC or Miami go to the SEC, where it's going to be tougher for them to make it, like Miami, now Miami's like, oh, we only really have to deal with Clemson, which, if Clemson has a bad season like they kind of had last year, and we kind of are able to find some fire, for 10, 11, 12 games, then we could potentially make it. Because now the ACC will also be going to next year. I think they're going to be getting rid of the divisions and go straight to kind of what the Pac-12 is doing now, where it's just the 2 best teams for the conference title. So that would actually make it more competitive, right? Because now you'd have multiple teams having to compete for 2 spots in the conference championship.
I'll also say this, and I didn't really think about it until actually looking at the AP poll. This 12-team playoff, I think, can also spark some life back into college football with all the NIL stuff and everything kind of going on. I mean, look at the matchups you'd have just based off of everything stayed pat right now. You'd get Florida, Bama. You get Georgia.
The top 4 would get buys.
Okay, so then you would get Clemson and Florida. You get Texas A&M and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma SC and Notre Dame Baylor. That's marquee matchups. Talk about marquee.
The one thing I don't like is that they got rid of only the first rounds, the 5 through 8 get home games, and then after that, the 1 through 4 don't get home games. It would be neutral sites, which I think that.
I do think that's kind of.
Well, I thought it was. I thought it was you get to choose. It's not necessarily a home game, but you get to choose where you play if you're the higher seed.
I think that's how that is, but you don't get a on-campus home game. It's still a neutral site. It
So
can't.
you
be
basically can be like, I want to play at.
It's like if you're
Lincoln
Georgia and you got to
No,
play
it's true.
Oregon, you could say, "Hey, I want to play Oregon in Atlanta."
But I still think teams like Georgia and Ohio State would want an on-campus home playoff game.
Well, for sure, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you can. I think it's like you choose your neutral site. So you would obviously just choose something that's close, like Ryan just said, Georgia picking Atlanta to play, any West Coast team essentially, or really any team at all to play in Atlanta rather than anywhere else.
And I wanted to say on Notre Dame's part, this is going to force Notre Dame to join a conference. It's just flat out going to, because they even said Notre Dame is not allowed to be a top 6 seed at all.
Well, that's what it is. They can't be top
They
6.
can't be a top 6
Have
because those top 4 is for power for or top. But yeah, top 4 is conference champions, ranked best to worst, and then
It's top 5.
or top five, and then after that, I think six goes to the next best conference champion, whether that be group of 5.
Well, I mean, well, that always means that would guarantee that the best group of 5 team.
I think that's why they did that. So that the best.
But
group of 5
I don't
team.
like that because then you wouldn't have a Cincinnati.
I know, but who wouldn't want like say Cincinnati would have been right there where Texas A&M is. Cincinnati gets to host. What, they get to host Florida? Yeah, they get no.
Oh no, keeping them at 6 would guarantee they get to host.
That's what I'm saying. So
okay,
Cincinnati stay at 6, they get to host Oklahoma State.
Gotcha.
So I think it also keeps smaller schools engaged, but nevertheless, the committee even talked about Notre Dame specifically. The Big Ten wanted this move and pushed for it because they want Notre Dame to realize
they have to join.
that they have to join.
Mm-hmm. Because
funny.
Because that might still guarantee where Notre Dame is a 7 or an 8 seed and they still can host a game, but then if they aren't that and they're lower down, then they have to travel. You know what I mean? But they're never going to have the bye, which I feel like some teams will want. I feel like it'll determine. I feel like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, those teams wouldn't mind having an extra week or something to practice and stuff.
Right.
Well,
Notre Dame's just having a lot of issues with a lot of these different things that are moving forward. I just actually read something. My buddy told me about it that he read in the new NCAA football game. Notre Dame actually isn't going to be in it.
They said they don't want to unless they're able to put all their entire roster, like real players, into the game. So,
exactly, which is just another. I mean, I get it, but it's just another Notre Dame thing where it's like
you could also say it's a players thing. Like you could say that, hey, they want all their players to get paid. They don't want some players to get paid to be in the game.
Yeah, but it's another time where Notre Dame is trying to control everything. You know what I mean? Like they're trying.
Well, they're not the only one, aren't there?
Exactly
5 other
what
schools.
they want.
There are
exactly
5 other
what
schools
they want
that
when they want to do it. I don't think it's any Power 5. Notre Dame was the only one I saw that was an actual like legit school that was not going to be in the game because of the players.
Which I don't understand why EA can't just go out and pay. Hey, I'll pay you to each player on Notre Dame's roster. It can't be that hard.
EA paying somebody else than themselves? You're hilarious.
But anyway, we can move on. To kind of segue into what we have on the list. Week 2 AP poll reactions. Any issues? Got things you like to see? What do you guys think?
I still think Texas A&M is too high.
NC State dropped from 13 to 18, so at least they dropped because of how close the game was.
Yeah. honestly, like I told Ryan before, I think that Notre Dame should be in that 7 spot. So I would swap Oklahoma and A&M, and then Notre Dame and A&M. So then they're in that 7 spot. Florida too high. I don't know. The thing about the first, like the week 1 AP poll is that it's all just guessing. You're just completely guessing what these teams are going to look like and where they're going to be. And then after week 1, you're actually going to know, like, oh, this team is probably the number 7 team, or this team is probably the number 12 team. Like, you can actually see them play and then understand where they should be, in the AP poll, I think, anyways.
Yeah.
So
I think Wake staying where they are. I think they were at 23, staying there, and then again, Sam Hartman back now. I think they potentially could rise up if they do well.
we got a beeping car, but
Beeping car out there.
my only two issues.
Yeah, someone's car wasn't turning on. That was weird.
This is why I hate, and I know a lot of people hate the AP poll, because it's useless ranking teams. Because then you have situations where you got an unranked Florida
Jumping
moving all the way to 12 because they beat Utah. I'm not saying that's not a good win,
but you have to remember that the week 1 AP poll.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I said, why even come out with it? Why not come?
There should only be a week 2. I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
There should be a week 2 AP poll, and they shouldn't even be a number 1.
My only other problem would be Oregon completely dropping out of the top 25.
What was?
Oregon dropping out of the top 25 completely.
Oh,
Did
yeah,
they get embarrassed on national TV by Georgia? Yes. Georgia also has a really solid chance of repeating as champions this year. And Oregon literally lost all of their really good receivers. So let's not act like Georgia isn't a top 2 team. And let's not act like Oregon didn't just get beat by a better team. That's going to be a national title contender. They shouldn't drop all the way from 11 out of the top 25 because of that.
I agree. I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it because I think we'll get redemption and get back in the top 25 after the BYU game.
Unless you
lose. All right, Connor. I don't want to hear none of that. But on top of it, too, I agree. I agree, Ryan. Like, if you look at the bottom, say, because Oregon was 11. Look at 11 through 25 and tell me one of those teams that doesn't get beat by 46 by Georgia.
Let me say this. Michigan State, Oklahoma State, Miami, Baylor, probably SC, probably Oklahoma, Kentucky, Wisconsin, NC State, Pitt, Arkansas. All those teams are probably going to get their butts embarrassed if they played Georgia week 1 on the road in Atlanta in those circumstances. So, yeah, I don't know. And I could honestly say Oregon's better than some of those teams. I think they're better than Michigan State. Michigan State played a cupcake week 1. I think
that Oregon should be right there. I honestly think they should be right there in that 23, probably 22 to 25 range. I think they should be right there. Honestly, I think they should be above Tennessee as of right now. I think Tennessee looked really good.
Well, no,
they didn't play anybody.
Why not just switch them out with NC State? NC State should have lost to East Carolina.
That is true.
They were a missed PAT and a missed field goal that were chip shots away from losing.
Yeah.
So how do they lose? How do they only drop 5 spots for that terrible performance with all the expectations? But then Oregon drops completely out.
Yeah, it's crappy. But I will say, the AP poll right now, if you look at the top 50 in the AP poll, Oregon's at 26. So it's not like we're
BT's at 100.
BT's at 100.
Probably.
They're probably down there. Honestly,
my final thing I want to get into with the AP poll, and then we can move on, because I got called an idiot in a group chat for saying that Georgia should be ranked ahead of Ohio State.
by fellow
Because-
Notre Dame fans.
By
and you
fellow
finally-
Notre Dame
you
fans
fin-
who are
you
so
finally realized what the rest of us
their
see.
heads are so inflated that they think that Ohio State should be higher, should be number one, the number one team in the country right now, because they beat number 5 Notre Dame.
I think honestly Georgia should be above Bama.
I that's what I have. I have
I
Georgia.
agree.
I have. Georgia.
I think the only reason why Alabama's above them is because they
did
just
nothing
beat
to
a
lose.
team. They beat a team that had 11 wins last year by 55 points. So
Yeah,
I mean,
Utah State wasn't Utah State wasn't really that much.
Well,
of a
Utah
foot.
State also almost lost to UConn. So
I know I get that,
UConn,
but
I think,
like
is
still, it's Utah State's probably still going to win like 9 games this year.
But
So-
like I don't know. What do you guys think? Ohio State or Georgia? Go really quick.
Oh, Georgia.
Am
for
I an
sure.
idiot? Do I not
Georgia-
have?
as
do I
of
not
right
have any
now,
football knowledge?
As of this very moment, it is impossible to say that Ohio State is better than Georgia.
I will
It's not
even say
possible.
this: Georgia beat the number 11 team in the country by 46 points. Ohio State, through 3 quarters of football against Notre Dame, was not the better team. Was not the better team through 3 quarters of football. The fourth quarter, yes, they were the better team. But that offense that's supposed to be the most high-powered offense in college football history put up 7 points for 3 quarters of a game. So let's not act like Ohio State just went out there and played Notre Dame and just completely dropped 56 points on them and threw for 500 yards. So I don't know. But we can go ahead and move on.
All right, what do we got next?
So next we got
It's kind of
Lucas-
funny how It's kind of funny how Lucas is supposed to be the host, but Ryan is the one that's it has all the.
well, because I have to move the banners.
Yeah, he has all
He's
the.
doing,
banners,
he's
so
doing the banner. So are we gonna? You want to go over the teams first? The games.
Yeah. So let me actually stop sharing.
Well, no, aren't we gonna do meme all the other stuff?
Well, we're gonna go over the games really quick. Just kind of quick thoughts over each game.
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Dude,
So-
like I said,
He
long
cha-
hair.
Yeah,
Number
there
5,
he changed
Utah.
this up.
Utah was not number 5. They were
Or
7.
number 7. My bad. Number
Okay.
7, Utah falls to Florida. Thoughts on
They
the
were-
game?
That was not a bad loss. That was not a
you-
bad loss by Utah. Florida looks really good with AR-15, and AR-15 is probably like up there along with probably Stroud and Young now as a early Heisman favorite probably now. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Richardson has like the 3rd best odds right now. He's probably the one that's most improved it. I didn't watch enough of the game. I wasn't paying attention to the game enough, but I think Utah still. It's a good loss to have, especially with Florida now being so high ranked, to where Utah can still compete for a Pac-12 title and potentially still make the playoff down the line. And it's people were saying, "Oh, this is the death of the." People were saying, "Oh, the Pac-12 is already dead this season." I remember we were talking about. I think you mentioned that, Lucas. So you shared a story about that in the group chat. I saw it somewhere about Oregon and Utah losing. Now the Pac-12 won't have another team, but until another loss happens for Utah or for Oregon, maybe Oregon's probably out just because of how embarrassing the loss is. But Utah, I think, is still potentially there.
Pac-12
It's
fans.
week 1.
Yeah.
It's week 1. Anything can happen in week 1. Week one things happen. Look at Ohio State versus Virginia Tech in 2014.
Well, that was not week 1.
That's
That was week.
it was still. What was
It
it?
was
It was early in the
Week
season.
2. It was week
3?
2.
Week
Week
It was
2.
either 2 or 3.
It was early in the season. They went on to win the national championship. So like these
Dude,
early
that-
season
that
losses.
game gave us so much hope. I remember seeing an article on ESPN. An article came out saying Virginia Tech was back on ESPN, like on the front page, because Virginia Tech went from unranked to like they were like 17 or 15 the next week, and then we lost to ECU. So, but of course, ECU has proven over the years, including this week, to be the bane of ACC teams' existences. So,
Yeah, but early season losses aren't the end of the world. Like you said, Utah and Oregon could run the table and could make it to the college football playoff regardless. I think either of those teams could do it. USC could win every game and go to the playoff. Like, I'm not worried about the Pac-12 right now. What I am worried about is the fact that Utah played a much better game through 4 quarters. Not just like the Notre Dame versus Ohio State only, was the better team through 3 quarters and then they, fizzled off and lost that last quarter and lost the game. No, Utah was the better team through 4 quarters and choked it at the very end. They were, rewatching the game, it was so embarrassing as a Utah fan. Or obviously, like, if you're a Utah fan, it has to be so embarrassing to see, like, your team actually winning that game, like, dominating that game, and then throw
that was a duck of a throw.
One of the dumbest interceptions I've ever seen in a college football game. In my life.
Are you talking about Are you talking about the one that secured the game, or
the game loser, the game sealer? It was the worst interception I've ever seen. You don't need to throw the ball. You don't need to score a touchdown. Kick the ball going to
overtime.
My question is,
because I made the highlight.
I can't remember what the score was.
I made the best of week 1, and I went back and I watched that play. Why the hell are you throwing a ball into where there's 5 Florida defenders and there was like maybe 1 or 2 Utah wide receivers? Like,
and how much time was there? There was plenty. There was
like 30 something seconds left.
Yeah, and, there was plenty of time for them to run the ball, do something.
They were inside the 5. I'm pretty sure
they were inside the 5.
And especially when you have a guy like what is his name, Tavion Thomas, like. Come on. Cam Rising's got to be better than that, man. He's got to be better.
He did play a pretty solid game, but that interception is just. But I'll just say this: Utah, you let me down. I had you guys in my playoff. Screw you.
It's not over yet. They can still get there.
All right, so
yeah, we can move on.
We can move on. Connor's favorite game of the week. Virginia Tech loses to Old Dominion again. 4 years to the day.
Not to the day.
Not to the day. 4-year anniversary
of that game was
in 2018.
Because that was what was that? Was that week 4? And VT was ranked 13th in the country. And that was week 4.
Disappointing loss for VT. Honestly, I really did not think you guys were going to choke that game away. I took a nap, I think, in between the game because I was like, it'll be fine. It was kind of a boring game, to be honest.
It was.
I mean, I wasn't watching it because I had to work. Ironically, I'll say this: both of these losses I didn't actually watch in person. I was out doing something. And I was just getting the updates. I'm like, it's same thing. Same thing happened in both games. VT scored the first TD, and then they crapped the bed from there. I'll go on my rant later when I do our
mean game
runners and bummers.
So my question is, why the hell does Virginia Tech insist on playing these non-con group of 5 teams on the road?
Well,
I don't understand.
It's the same reason that teams decide to do.
Actually, not just VT, not just Virginia Tech. Why the hell was the ACC as a whole playing on the road?
I saw something about how, like, literally of all the non-conference non-Power 5 games that were on the road, over the I don't know. Not this season though, there's gonna be 15 or 20 of them in the ACC, and then the SEC is gonna have 1. You know what I mean? No one SEC doesn't do that because they don't have to. It's because the ACC doesn't have as much money, so they kind of have to do that.
Also, is it official? We can say that the Sun Belt is a better conference than the ACC.
At this rate, it probably is.
If we see, this week we're probably going to see, spoiler alert, I think we're going to see Pittsburgh lose this week. And then Clemson, it's only a matter of time before they lose. So,
they got
not looking so hot.
Clemson plays undefeated Furman this week. So
What's Furman's nickname? What are
Never know.
they?
I have no idea.
The Furman Fisters. No.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Lucas, we kind of talked about this game a little bit. Oregon versus Georgia. The Ducks ducked another one.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of high hopes going into this game because I'm a delusional Ducks fan. But to be honest, we knew what was going to – like, I don't think we knew that it was going to be that bad, but we knew that they were going to lose this game. We knew Georgia was a better team. It's just – I mean, I'm not going to say – like, I'm not going to call out no Knicks yet. I know Josh, you want to, and I know my guys on here want to also. I'm not gonna call him no Knicks yet because he did just play probably the best defense in college football. So I'm gonna give him a little bit of a.
And let's be fair, no Knicks is 0-4. No Knicks is 0-4 against Georgia in his career. So
I don't. Yeah, and I you can't expect him to do anything. Yeah, Papa John's. Heck yeah, dude. But yeah, I don't know. We're going to see the real Oregon, I think, next week. I think a lot of things are going to change and a lot of things are going to be better. Well, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I think a lot of things are going to change and a lot of things are going to look a lot better. I know Eastern Washington isn't, anything worth, being hyped about beating, but you're muted there, Connor.
Hey, you know what? Lucas, they're undefeated. They're 1-0.
Yeah, but they played really bad in their first game. They only won by 7, I want to say, and it just wasn't a very good performance by them. I was listening to a little bit about he's their like color commentator or something for the Eagles, and he was talking about how this team just isn't quite as good as teams past. But with that being said, I think Oregon's going to take a lot of chances. I think they're going to take a lot of shots, and I think they're going to hopefully look way better than they did last week. Even if they look bad this week, I think they can still roll away with a 20-plus point victory. But I'm calling 70, man. I want 70. I want to put 70 on their heads. I want to put 70 on their heads so bad, just to show the country that our offense can score some points.
Connor, what do you think about the game? What did you think about the game?
I literally turned it off after about 14
That's the real question, Lucas. How long did you have the game on for?
I think I turned it off with I want to say 7 minutes left in the game, maybe less. I switched over to I think it was the Utah game was on at that. No, it was the Cincinnati game. Switched over to Cincinnati game. Yeah.
I was so mad because I was in a rush because I was watching the end of that App State North Carolina game, and I switched it because I'm like, oh, it's 2:30 my time. The Ducks are playing, and I'm like, watch the first couple drives, and I'm like, all right, this is what this is gonna be, and then I ended up missing the end of the App State game. I'm like, shit. But all right, let's go ahead and move on. Next up, we got my team, Notre Dame, loses another big-time game on the road against Ohio State.
Should I turn my camera off or should I just eat it right here?
Who cares? Eat it.
Just mute yourself when you eat.
But what were your thoughts on and impressions on the game?
I guess it's not crunchy, so you won't hear it. For me, honestly, I was pretty impressed with how Notre Dame played. I think their offense was a little
left more to be desired.
We spoke about that a little bit before the show, I want to say, where it was just kind of they were playing very conservative, and I think it was mostly because they were just trying to keep the ball out of the hands of that offense that Ohio State has, but they shouldn't have been so worried because your defense is playing great through, like you said, 3 quarters, pretty much 4 quarters. They were playing fantastic. So I think
you could say, I could say they were the second best defense in the country this past weekend, right behind Georgia.
Um, I mean, I don't know if I'm going that far, but they did look good. They did look good against them. I think Ohio State, Connor, I think talked about it before. Ohio State. Whoa, you guys are all laggy. Am I
No,
laggy?
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
okay, we're good. I think Ohio State, for some reason, they just really struggle in the first couple weeks of the season. I'm not sure why. It's like every year they always like really struggle against teams to start the year.
I mentioned that last
I
week.
Yeah, and I think we saw that a little bit against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame didn't they didn't strike when they could have. It's like it's like they were afraid. They were just so afraid that CJ Stroud was going to gash them, or that they were going to give the ball back, and then CJ Stroud was going to go down and just dominate this game. But he wasn't. They should have just taken their chances. I really think so. And I think I told you, Ryan, too. I think if they have a better running game and a better running back, they win that game, because that's how Ohio State is. I think you can run all over them nowadays. But I don't know. I'm impressed with Buckner. I think he's going to be good. You're going to be happy this season, I think.
Do you think in 11?
Coming.
Let me ask you guys this: were you impressed at how, I guess, kind of poised he was for his first true start on the road in that atmosphere?
Yeah, I think he looked all right. I mean, you could still see the freshman tendencies, that he had. You could still see those pretty heavy. Whereas with CJ Stroud, you saw those a lot last season. Yeah. But then now this year, like we talked about before the show, CJ Stroud didn't look like a freshman. He looked like, a fifth-year senior. Like, he was going out there and he was playing really well, running around. Obviously, your defense played well against their receivers. But CJ Stroud looked really good. Whereas I think Buckner just needs a couple more games under his belt. And I think you guys probably end 10-2. I think you're going to lose another game only because of what we saw this week.
The offense.
With how timid you guys are. And I think
we're very scared to throw the ball deep. Very scared.
Yeah. I think you get too timid with the wrong team, and they're going to hurt you. But next year, I think your team is going to be very, very good. And if Buckner's the starter throughout this whole season and then starts next season, I think you guys are in for a really, really good season.
And I'll say this. I mean, I was watching the game, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I've lived through 12 years of Brian Kelly at Notre Dame and big-time games. And even before the game starts, when they're doing the pre-game stuff, you see the players running out on the field. You see them talking, doing warm-ups. As a Notre Dame fan under Brian Kelly, you look at those players' eyes and you can just tell they've lost the game before the game even started. They're not mentally checked in. They weren't mentally prepared. They weren't, ready to go to war. They were scared of the moment. And it felt different. Notre Dame lost another big game, and I understand Notre Dame fans are mad and upset and want Tommy Rees fired after one game, which is freaking ridiculous.
I don't know why, but I kept thinking Tommy Rees was one of your QBs. I'm like, how?
Well,
fire!
I looked at Buckner's eyes. I looked at our defense, like when Foskey and those guys came out on the first series against Ohio State. They didn't look scared like Notre Dame teams had before. They didn't look terrified of Ohio State. And actually, and the stuff you heard from the players all week was Brandon Joseph was asked, you guys got a big game coming up, and I think this was on game day. He said, no, it's not if we beat Ohio State. To us, it's when we beat Ohio State. What's next? So to hear Notre Dame players say that, which I haven't heard since my lifetime, it's just good to see, and I think Freeman is the better coach at motivating kids than BK was. But yeah, I'm not disappointed at the loss. Obviously, I'm sad that we lost because it's another big game. But Like I told you guys, I'm not mad. I'm not mad that we lost that game. We were supposed to lose the game. We were supposed to get blown out. So to see us put up a fight, it was at least encouraging.
You should be happy that the defense did enough to hold them to such few points.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, then we could go on and move on to the final game, and then we can go ahead and get into our main topics. This game was a freaking joke. LSU drops to Florida State.
Florida State fumbles on the 1. LSU then drives 99 yards to tie. Goes for the extra point. Brian Kelly said that they had changed the blocking because they had an issue blocking on a previous kick, and then the guy comes straight through where they had on the same side that they had fixed and blocks it. The ball was mated too. I think it hit the crossbar or like one of the uprights.
And then Brian Kelly proceeds to blame his players after the game.
He did?
Yeah, he blamed Keyshawn Booty and the kid that muffed 2 punts and the offensive lineman that looked.
How can you blame Keyshawn when he had 2 catches when the
You didn't see that? I posted in the group chat that Keyshawn deleted everything about LSU.
No, I saw that.
He's
gonna come to VT and then he's gonna come there, play for 1 game, and then he's gonna delete everything from VT because the offense is gonna be even more offensive.
I'm just so excited because I'm one step away now from Lucas having to wear an I Love a Mario Cristobal hat. You don't remember the bet?
Wait, for what? I can't remember what the bet was.
If Brian Kelly goes 6-6 or worse, then you have to wear. I think it was either an I Love Mario Cristobal hat or you have to wear a Notre Dame hat for the rest of the shows. And then if Brian Kelly goes 7-5 or better, then I have to get a hat that says I Love Brian Kelly and wear it during the show.
Oh yeah.
I thought it said bowl game.
Or it might have been bowl game. I'll give you bowl game.
Okay.
But still, I'm one step away.
LSU makes a bowl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just that even at 6-6. Jeez.
Yeah. But if you look at their schedule,
they might not.
Jaden Daniels
will
looked
say,
good. Like that last drive, he looked really good. I didn't see any of the game.
I know Connor, but he looked good against Florida State.
That's true, but still, I didn't see.
Okay, Notre Dame was beat them by 2 points last year in Week 1. Like Florida State's a good Week 1 team apparently.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe Brian Kelly just sucks against Florida State. I mean, you ever think about that? Maybe he just is not very good.
How many times has he coached against Florida State?
He has a winning record. He has a winning record against Florida State. I think Notre Dame actually, under Brian Kelly, I think we went 3-1 against Florida State. So, the one loss coming against Jameis Winston. So
now he's 3-2.
Yeah, it's 3-2. So,
and who knows? Florida State's 2-0, dude. They could make a run in the ACC.
Yeah. Hey, man, you know what?
Awesome.
I'm just glad to see Crying Belly is back.
No, it's Crying Belly.
Well, I don't know what that is.
Okay, whatever.
Right.
Let's move on.
So let's go ahead. Stunners and bummers of the week. Or week 0. I need to change that.
The fun one. The fun one. We get to start. All right, since I'm host, does that mean I go last now?
Yep. So, Connor, you go first.
My stunner is the same as I had last week. It's the same that I had Drake May, UNC QB, 24-36, 352 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, rating of 185.5, QBR of 93.6. He is number 1 in the country in yards and touchdowns. So, you know, at least UNC knows their offense is pretty good. Their defense, jeez.
Oh, it's awful. It's so bad. It's going to make for a lot of good games, though.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they will make Virginia Tech's offense look competent somehow.
All right, so I'm up next, right?
Yeah.
Are we just doing stunner first? Who was your bummer?
Yeah.
Well, no, we do stunner. Yeah, we only have
Stunners
to
first. Stunners
Oh
first.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Then, since I'm ranting, I'll go last on my bummer.
So my stunner is going to be good old James Madison. Their first ever FBS game and their first year being in the FBS level. They smacked the ever-living crap out of Middle Tennessee State. Josh, shame on you for taking MTSU. But anyway, I'm taking their quarterback. Oh, God. What the hell?
No, Josh says it wasn't a bowl. Yeah, Josh says it was 6-6, so it's a bowl game for that bet.
I don't know where my thing went. What the hell was that?
It's something Centio. Is that how you
Yeah,
spell it?
yeah, I know.
Centio.
I'm trying to find the
Or Centio.
exact name. Okay, so I'm taking the JMU quarterback, Todd Centio. The dude threw for 287 yards, 6 touchdown passes, with a completion percentage of 63.6. Yards per attempt, he averaged 8.7. Dude just completely demolished Middle Tennessee State. And I think JMU actually has a legit chance to win the Sun Belt in their first year in FBS. I keep telling people, stop sleeping on these FCS programs like James Madison, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. I got called an idiot last week for taking South Dakota State against Iowa. This is the reason why you take FCS schools. But go ahead, Lucas.
All right, my stunner of the week. Sorry, I was checking the score. Louisville is currently up on UCF. Stunner of the week is Mike Wright, the quarterback at Vanderbilt. So this guy is actually projected to be one of the top quarterbacks in the draft next year, which is surprising out of Vanderbilt. He went 18 for 29, 245 yards, 4 touchdowns passing, had 11 carries for 84 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns rushing. Last year, Mike Wright split time with Ken Seals, who was their quarterback. He actually transferred out. Or no, he's still at Vanderbilt. He just completely beat him out in the offseason this year.
Vanderbilt beats Wake. I'm just kidding. Well, that's a pick 'em we're going to have later.
Right now, Mike Wright has 6 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Last year, in the entire year, he had 8 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So he's already off to a good start. He was a former 3-star recruit. And, he's in great position right now for the future SEC champion Commodores.
All right, Connor, your
All right.
bummer.
He's doing his bummer last because it's a bad one.
Okay.
It's going to be a rant.
So, I'm sorry,
This
Lucas,
will not be very ranty.
but it is a thing to do on the show, and it is a ritual on this show to poop all over No Nicks. So, he threw 2 interceptions, I'm pretty sure, in the first quarter. Was that right?
I don't know if it was the first quarter. It was the first half for sure.
But 21 of 37 passing, 56% completion for 173 yards, no touchdowns, 2 INTs, and only 4.7 yards per attempt. So he wasn't like airing it out or anything like that. Sorry,
tried to,
Lucas.
and it got picked.
I'm sorry, Lucas, but he had a QB rating of 85.2, which is fairly just not very good.
Not as bad as the 1.1 by Petrus.
That is true. But hey, you know what?
I'm surprised none of us actually took Petrus.
No Nicks is going to no
That
Nicks.
is true. Yeah, it's okay. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll be at the game tomorrow, so I'm stoked to see him live. All right, my bummer of the week is Hank Bachmeier, the quarterback at Boise State. You guys obviously all know him. He started like the last 2 seasons, full-time starter for Boise State. But in this game against Oregon State, he went 4 for 8, 30 yards passing, 2 interceptions, 2 carries for -6 yards, and 1 lost fumble.
And then he got benched.
He got pulled.
Yeah,
He got benched. He got benched for true freshman Taylon Green, who actually had a really good game. The kid is 6'6".
Was it?
He had a
17. I think it was 17-0 already when he got pulled.
Yeah, and Taylon Green had a pretty decent game. So it'll be interesting to see if Hank Bachmeier even retains his starting job. I think they did say that he is going to get the start next week, but I don't think he's going to be the starter for long if he keeps messing up. He's going to be on a really tight leash.
Why are we hating on Hank Bachmeier for playing terrible against the best team in the state of Oregon?
Because he is terrible. He had a no-nicks type game against a Pac-12 school. That's why.
All right, Connor.
Okay, my bummer is Grant. Actually, I can do my rants for my meme team if you want as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
So my bummer is Grant Wells. I feel like I've been the person since we started this that has definitely had their own players the most often as their bummers of the week or their meme team.
Yeah, probably. I would.
What did he do? He was 21 of 37 for just 197 yards. That's a lot of completions to have less than 200 yards passing. 1 touchdown, passing, 1 rushing, which was like 18 yards. It was a pretty long run, relatively, and 4 interceptions. The last 2 of which really weren't his fault. The third one, which is the backbreaker, he threw it just a little too hard, but it bounced off the running back's hands into a defender's arms. That led to ODU's go-ahead touchdown. And then the last one was him just trying to force a pass in the middle, down the field. So, that's that one was a little bit more understandable. The last one, that second one, or that third one, I don't blame him. The first 2 were just miscommunications. And this has been a problem that he dealt with. In the last 2 years, he's had 24 picks. No, 22 interceptions thrown to 34 touchdowns.
That's not good.
He had 13 interceptions last year and only 16 touchdowns from Marshall. So he's a bit of a gunslinger. So it's not very good. And the unfortunate thing is he's our best option pretty much because one of the quarterbacks that we had last year that actually started the bowl game has been converted to like a utility player, and he was the guy that was being thrown to in like the last 2 or 3 attempts by Wells to try and get the team into field goal range or something. And then he's the one that if you saw the fans run on the field, that one VT player decking that ODU fan on Twitter. That's that guy. His name's Connor Blumwick. So he brought disgrace to all Connors. So I hate him for it.
All right. So now we're going to surprise team.
God, I don't even know what I said for my surprise team.
Old Dominion
first. Old Dominion.
Probably. Let me see if I can find this. I'm sorry. Can't even remember what I put in my.
I can go ahead and do mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
All right, so my surprise team of the week is the Florida Gators.
That's a good one.
They defeated the defending Pac-12 champions and the number 7 team in the country in Billy Napier's debut, which is pretty crazy because there were quite a few head coaches getting their starting jobs this week, and I didn't think that Napier was going to be the one to get was going to be one of the ones to get his victory. I will say, like, AR-15, obviously he doesn't like that nickname. I'm going to continue to call him that because it is the coolest nickname in college football. He had a flawless game. I mean, really did. I could have probably put him as my stunner this week. 274 total yards and 3 touchdowns that were all rushing touchdowns, and had 0 turnovers, which is obviously good for any game. The Florida Gators, now the number 12 team in the country, just beat the number 7 team in the country. They finished the season last year 6-7. They had 0 wins over top 25 teams last year. They did only play 2, and they were both against the number 1 team in the country, being Alabama and Georgia at the times. So I can't really take too much away from them there, but it's a huge win for the program. And even though I don't really care much for the Gators, you know, I'm happy to see them in a good direction, because I think they're one of those teams where if the Gators are good, college football is in a good place.
Except we have to deal with Scooter Magruder being in Steph Bowl, especially if also the Cowboys are good.
That is true.
All right, so I'll go ahead with my surprise team. Lucas was the only one of us that called it last week in the Pickems. The Arizona Wildcats.
I told you, dude.
San Diego State, 38-20.
Because San Diego State doesn't have Matt Araiza anymore.
Yeah.
and all of everything that happened with him put bad juju on them. That's why.
Yeah, it's probably why. But what's the quarterback's name for Arizona?
Jake DeLora. He was
Jake
the
DeLora.
quarterback.
That dude was a freaking.
He was the
stud.
quarterback for Washington State the last 2 seasons.
That dude was a stud. I mean, Arizona was dominant from kickoff that entire game, and just from a team that didn't they go like 1-11 last year?
They were probably the worst team in the Power.
I think they had a couple. I think they had a few more wins. The year before that, they only had I think they lost.
No, I think they only had 1 win last year. If not,
they only had 1 win last year, and I think the year before they went 0-12, something like that. So,
but yep, Connor, go ahead.
Oh, my team is Oregon State.
Okay.
34-17 win over Boise State. I took Boise, so I got that wrong.
Syracuse, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Syracuse putting the whooping on Louisville.
What was the score of that game?
38-7, 31-7, or 38-7.
Right.
Me and Lucas were the only 2 that took Syracuse. I tried telling y'all.
Louisville. So yeah, Oregon State looked good, but also obviously Hank, whatever his name was, didn't look very good at times. Wasn't very good for Boise, and that's the interceptions he threw and the turnovers is what gave Oregon State the lead. They had just had short fields and we were able to capitalize. But teams, if you're good enough, if you want to be good, you need to be able to capitalize on those mistakes and turn those into touchdowns, and not just field goals and stuff. So Oregon State looking good and doing well.
So we're gonna move on. Meme team of the week. Now, Connor, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
He already kind of did his. I thought he already.
Well, he actually. I was going to put his meme up. If you want me to
I'll go
first.
last.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think Lucas sent me a meme, so I'll just go ahead and do mine.
I didn't really have a meme for this one. I guess I can go first. So I didn't really have a meme for this one just because I don't think it was really worthy of that much of a meme because they did still win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the NC State Wolfpack.
Okay.
They beat East Carolina by only 1 point because of a missed extra point with 2.
And a missed field goal by ECU.
Yes. But it still would have been tied if they didn't miss this extra point with 2:58 left in the fourth quarter. the number 13 team in the country really did not look like they belonged in the top 25, which is going back to the AP poll, like crazy that they only dropped 5 spots for this. They got a lot of
They
hype
were,
in the
they were eighth
season.
so they were eighth in the polls.
They were 13.
Oh, they were 13 for the game. Okay.
Yeah, and then they dropped to 18.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
This is all against a team in ECU that only won 7 games last year. Just kind of a disappointing way to start the season for the Wolfpack. ECU had 39 more yards of total offense and nearly 5 more minutes of ball control than North Carolina did in this one. So
Here we go. I got a meme for you.
North Carolina State has a lot. That was close. That's good. North Carolina State just has a lot that they have to clean up if they're going to be able to even be a team like, I mean, really any team in the ACC after a performance like that.
Or Boston College.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, they get to play VT. They get VT at home, so that's going to be an easy dub for them probably.
All right, so I'll go.
A long season as a VT.
I'll go ahead and do my meme team of the week. I'm sure you guys can all pick who that's going to be.
That's going to be Georgia.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Every chance I get, I'm going to doo-doo all over Brian Kelly this season. He left for better athletes, people. He left for better athletes and a better chance to win a natty. Believe it or not. Oh.
Yeah.
One of the worst special teams performances probably ever. So, all right, Connor, you ready?
Yeah. Ready to show the meme first.
Yeah, I am. I got you.
I came up with this. I think I'm pretty proud of it. It's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
I mean, it's very simple, but it's very good. Someone's playing music. Sorry, I have my window open.
That's good.
So, yeah, VT.
I like that.
Oh,
Let me
man.
close this real quick.
Wait, you know what? We get to see him do it again, like Connor said, 3 of the next 5 years. So,
We're going to get to see him do it again often.
I'm on the second floor, so I have a balcony. That's nice. Okay. Okay, VT. First things first. The defense until that last drive for ODU. But defense was really good. If I told you that their quarterback literally had 14 of 35 and had like an interception and no passing touchdowns, you would think, oh, VT routes if I gave you those stats for ODU's quarterback. I think.
But then you look at Virginia Tech's quarterback.
Yeah, that's the thing. But we were joking about how we call it huskering, but no, it should be called hockeying, where a team outgains their opponents and still loses, because that's what happened in this game. Offense, besides Wells, Keyshawn King, who's been buried under in the depth charts, had more rushing yards by himself than ODU had as a team. He had like 110 yards, and I think he had a touchdown. So Keyshawn King looked really good with Malachi Thomas injured, out indefinitely with some undisclosed injury. But
Connor, one second.
Seals the deal with a fourth and paint the Commonwealth Monarch blue. Here they come as Old Dominion takes down Virginia Tech.
so
Monarch Blue, man.
so
Hey, at least you know what? I feel like it was more of an L 4 years ago than it was
Well, the funny thing is, people are saying that this game is worse because, if anything.
Well, think about this though, Connor. Think about this. You took more of an L losing this game 4 years ago than you did now because of the fact that you had it on CBS Sports, and you had one of the worst announcers of all time. So.
Well, that game was also on CBS Sports Network. Now I'm thinking about it.
No, this game was on ESPN.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, I don't know if there was a single week last year where all of our teams lost.
I don't know.
I actually don't think so.
So
what games did Notre Dame lose? So
Cincinnati.
What week was that?
Do you want me to get back to my rant?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not really a rant.
Yeah, go ahead. We're gonna research this. I want to see. I'm curious.
So Brent Pry. So ODU gets down to the 1 yard line, and Brent Pry apparently is not paying attention. Is talking to someone and doesn't see that the clock is winding, and they lose 28 seconds off the clock. So instead of having ODU score with 1 minute and 5 seconds left in the fourth, they scored with 37 seconds left. So VT had the ball with about 30 seconds left instead of about a minute to try and drive with a timeout. That's just something he's got to pay attention to, because he's also, but it's also because he's a defensive coordinator by heart. That's what he was. He's also been calling defensive plays. He was calling plays last night for the defense. So I don't know, man. I just don't know what to say.
Are you looking forward to playing them on the road again in the near future, Connor?
4 times in the next 8 years, I think.
You know what? One of these days, Connor, you just need to get up and go to Old Dominion and watch a game, like one of those 4 games. You need to just go.
I'm not going all the way. I'm not going all the way to Norfolk or Virginia Beach, wherever OD is.
Hey, why not? All right. So now we can finally.
I'm so defeated. I couldn't even rant properly about that.
So now I will say, wait, hold up. So, other than us all losing our bowl game this last season, there was only 1 week where we all lost. Well, kind of all lost in the same week, and that was October 2nd. So Oregon lost to Stanford, Notre Dame lost to Cincinnati, and Virginia Tech had a bye week.
Which a bye week for Virginia Tech is basically an L.
Yeah, so
that's
a
win for VT last season, not playing.
Man.
Yeah, so this is the first time we've ever actually all taken an L in the same week since we started this podcast. Kind of crazy.
What about Josh?
Is it Pickems time?
Yep, it is Pickems time, boys.
And yet Josh leads, doesn't he?
Yep. So the Pickems standings, Josh is ahead by 4 with 30, and everybody else is tied with 26. So, 3-way tie. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's I don't know, man.
All right. So
I have 27, by the way.
You have what?
I just checked mine. I have 27.
Oh, what'd you get?
Would you dare take a win away from me?
I did take a win away from you? For who?
I don't know. But
it might have been Arizona. But anyway, so the first game we're going to do Missouri at Kansas State. Connor?
Kansas State. No
Yep.
reason. I'm literally just going down live.
You completely pulled that out of his ass. I'm going Missouri in this one.
Okay. I'm
The
going to go
underdog.
K-State. Give me the Fighting Skylar Thompsons.
Yeah.
All right. Connor, you're going to love this matchup as well. I think the ACC as a whole is going to love this matchup. Old Dominion at East Carolina.
If I would have happened, ODU, they still were picked to finish last in the Sun Belt. And, I think that they don't match up very well. I don't know. Just out of spite, I'm going to choose East Carolina.
That's
All right.
That just popped in my head. I was just like, nah, I'd rather just. I was going to take ODU. It was like, nah, fuck them.
All right. Give me the Pirates of East Carolina. They should be 1-0.
The Fighting Chris Johnsons. Go ECU.
Yes. All right. Next up, Duke at Northwestern. Funny enough, it was one of our preseason, like we were talking about it in the preseason videos. This could have had the potential to be a $1 ticket game. Who you got, Connor?
Give me Northwestern. This is their year. They're going to win the division again.
Give me the Cats.
Yeah, I'm taking Northwestern as well.
All right. Next up, UAB at Liberty.
Yeah. Are you guys? I don't have anything to write down. Are you writing down what Josh is putting down
Oh,
for his picks?
well, I'll hold on.
I'm a good host. I'm not.
I'm
doing
okay.
it. Just kidding.
No, so we got K. All we've got so far from Josh is K-State and East Carolina, Northwestern. Okay, Josh, just DM me your Pickems. That way I have them, and it's easier. But also you can do it in the chat as well, so that way it gives us more content. But anyway, UAB at Liberty. Who you guys got?
I don't know. Who do I have in this one?
Connor?
Liberty. I got Liberty.
Who did Liberty play last week? Didn't we? Was
Southern Miss. They played Southern Miss, our team of the year.
They won in overtime.
Hey, you know what? Shout out to our boy Cam. He got an
Give me
interception in that game. So
He did.
shout out to Cam. But who you got?
Liberty again.
Ooh, okay. Give me UAB. Give me the Blazers.
Gross.
All right. Next game. Arizona State at number 11 Oklahoma State.
Only 11 and a half. That's kind of low. I was expecting a little bit more, but wow. Oklahoma State looks like Oklahoma State of old. Their defense was not good. Gave up 44 points to Central Michigan. They scored 58. But still, I'll take Oklahoma State.
Okay. I'm going to
Yeah,
go
I'm
Oklahoma
definitely-
State as well. Give me the Pokes.
I'm definitely taking Oklahoma State. Honestly, I think the Arizona State's in shambles. They're just
Hey,
their
you know what?
program.
Lucas, you thought they were going to have
Program.
a struggle against Northern Arizona, and they blew them out.
It was close to begin with.
All right, next game. Syracuse at UConn. Now, if this was a basketball matchup, this would probably be a top 10 matchup in college basketball.
No, because Syracuse
Well,
and
not
UConn haven't
anymore.
been great in a while.
Not anymore. But
Well, this would have been huge in the Big 10, in the Big 12, or Big
or
10,
the Big East. Yeah.
the Big East back in about 2010. Syracuse is 22 and a half. Wow. I'll take
I'm definitely taking Syracuse in this one.
I might
Yeah,
take
got
Syracuse.
as well.
I think I'll take Syracuse. No, I'm going to take Syracuse and the point. And straight up on that. I'm going to take them.
Yep, Syracuse and the points.
They're going to cover.
All right, next up, the Gray Turf at the Raging Cajuns.
Louisiana.
Yep. Give me Louisiana, the Fighting Billy Napiers.
Well, he's not there anymore, but
Well,
also you spelled Louisiana wrong.
hey, you know what?
There's not a
Louisiana.
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 That's
Give me the fruit Syracuse. I like that.
I tried coming up with a fake accent.
Give me the Cajuns.
Louisiana.
All right. Next up, the best team in Oregon at the best team in California.
Ducks are playing Fresno State today. Come on. It's crazy. I'm taking Fresno State in this one, but I don't know who's gonna win. It could go either way, but I think I'm
Well,
gonna
what?
take Fresno
Oregon
State.
State's a 1-point favorite on the road, so technically they're a 4-point favorite. So,
Which means they'd be a 4-point favorite if they were hosting.
yeah.
I just like Jake Hayner more.
Yeah, I
than,
do too.
Chance Nolan. So
I'm gonna go the real FSU too.
I'll take Oregon State on the road.
Okay.
I'll go against you guys.
All right. Next up,
Guys, what are we,
defending-
IU fans? What are we, Indiana fans?
all right, what's next? NIU Tulsa.
Tulsa
He
lost to
freeze?
Wyoming, and Wyoming looked terrible week 0. Give me NIU on the road. Give me the.
Who am I taking in this one? We're all out of order. I'm actually taking Tulsa in this one.
Ryan. Oh, Ryan's
Ryan.
frozen.
Ryan froze.
Oh no.
Oh no. R.I.P. our boy. Okay, so
Okay, we're gonna pick for him. He picks neither team, and therefore he's not gonna get a point.
there he goes. This
And
is
we thought
awkward.
We thought his
because
internet problems would be fixed.
I know we thought they were better.
there we go.
Oh,
Whoops.
I don't know what the hell happened.
there we go. There's our
We
boy.
said if you weren't going to be back within 5 seconds, we were going to say you picked neither team, and therefore you weren't going to get any points no matter what.
All right, so we got the defending MAC champions at Tulsa, who just lost a hard-fought game against Wyoming in overtime.
And Wyoming sucks in week 0.
Yep,
Who are you taking? Where are
I'm
you
taking Lucas. Who you got?
He's taking Tulsa. I'm taking NIU.
I got NIU. Give me the Huskies.
And Josh is taking NIU. So Lucas is going all by.
Hey, but you know what? This is the first time on this show where you are not allowed to say "Huck the Huskies" because these Huskies are good.
Shut up.
I'll go with that.
All right, Kansas at West Virginia.
Oh, I took West Virginia in this one.
This would have been a good basketball matchup too.
Well, we'll have it later this year.
Who you got, Connor?
Do I trust in Kansas at all? No, I'll take
Hey, you know what? They blew out the mighty Tennessee Tech.
Tennessee Tech. Remember, was it Maryland or Virginia Tech that cleared Tennessee Tech one time? I can't remember. I'll take West Virginia though.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I want to go Kansas here, but I'm gonna go West Virginia. All right. The game I'm actually gonna be at tomorrow. The Virginia
Sick.
Cavaliers at the Fighting Illini.
Illinois, and if they don't win, I won't ever forgive you, Ryan. You were never allowed to go
ILL.
you were never allowed to go to any football game ever again if Illinois loses. And I will hunt you down and personally make sure that your girlfriend, or whatever she is, fiance, puts you on house arrest for the rest of your existence, your pathetic existence. Go fight in Illini.
I'm going for the Fighting Bennett Williams.
Ooh. I'm gonna go. Wait, that's Illinois, right?
Yeah, he was a freshman All-American at Illinois and then got kicked off the team because he had like drugs or something. Yeah, he plays at Oregon.
Who was that? Do you guys remember who was the quarterback for Illinois that time they beat Ohio State, number 1 Ohio
It
State?
was Nathan Shieldhouse.
In 2008 or
Yep,
2007?
Nathan Shieldhouse. Yep.
Showhouse.
It wasn't Juice.
It wasn't. Juice was in 2007. Nathan Shieldhouse was a true sophomore.
Illinois beat Ohio State
Yeah.
at Ohio State, number 1 in 2008.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know why. I kept thinking it was 2007.
But yeah, give me Fighting Illini. I'm going to be at this game, so obviously they're going to win. So,
I'll never
is it a clean sweep? Are we all taking Illinois?
I think we're
We're
all
waiting
taking
for Josh. I feel
Illinois.
like they're probably
No
taking
love for Brennan Armstrong? Wow.
Nope.
At least Virginia showed Virginia Tech, the rest of Virginia Tech, how to beat a lesser division in-state school in Richmond.
All right.
And VT gets to play at Liberty, so we might have 2 for 1 this year. Yay!
I just pulled a Skylar Thompson card in Madden. Anyways.
Okay.
Is your
UTSA.
Madden good? I've been hearing mixed things. Some people say it's okay, it's a little bit tougher. Some people are saying it's the exact same.
Oh, it's significantly better than last year's.
Yeah, and his defense is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Defense is way better.
Yeah, I might
It's
take
way
it up.
more fun. It's way more fun. For this one, I took UTSA in this one, I think.
Was it because they impressed you against Houston?
UTSA,
Roadrunners.
UTSA was the one that nearly beat Houston. That was a good game. I saw the end of that.
Roadrunners have always been my team, man. Yeah, I took UTSA.
I just started a UTSA Road to Glory on NCAA revamped, so.
They're fun. They're
Roadrunners.
fun to play with.
We're still waiting on Josh for the last
Oh,
two-
he's texting them to me.
okay, so that's
So,
good.
Um,
Okay. So you guys are both taking UTSA.
Yep.
Yep. Yup.
I took Army last week and they bit me in the ass. I'll still take him again. I'll go against you guys.
All right.
It's at Army. Their stadium is one of the most beautiful, at least beautifully located in the country, in the mountains north of New York City. So give me Army, but do not go Army. Let's go Navy.
All right. Next up, Iowa State at Iowa, and a big early season rivalry.
How is Iowa a favorite in this game? They scored
I have
literally
no
only,
The
they
Assico.
literally scored 3.5 more points than what they're favored by last week. Like, that's we're all picking Iowa State, right? Like, we can't actually pick Iowa in this game.
The
Oh,
fact that they
God.
only won because they got 2 sacks for safeties is insane.
No, one of them wasn't even a sack. One of them was a running back just tackled behind the line, tackled in the end zone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of them was a sack, but the other wasn't. I didn't.
Who called me? Who said I was gonna take an L for taking South Dakota State? I think it was Lucas.
I did, yeah. You got close, man. You got freaking close.
All right, this should be a good one. Number 25 Houston at Texas Tech. Texas Tech is actually favored in this game.
And pretty much for the longest time, I've never trusted. Pretty much, I haven't trusted Texas Tech since Michael Crabtree was there because even when they had Patrick Mahomes, they routinely would lose games because the defense sucked. So I'm going to take Houston.
Okay.
I also took Houston.
I'll go Houston as well. Pretty sure that's probably going to be a clean sweep.
Yeah, Josh will probably take him. It is surprising, but I think what that means, that's really a push because obviously Texas Tech is just getting the 3 points for the home bonus. That's really just straight push.
Yep.
Next up, Wazoo at
Oh no, Josh is taking Texas Tech. He's going against it.
Oh.
Wazoo at number 19 Wisconsin. Will the Fighting Graham Mertz cover the spread?
Wisconsin.
I took Wisconsin in this one, but I would not be surprised if Washington State beat them.
See, I'm going with the Fighting Gardner Minshews on this one. Give me Wazoo.
I wouldn't be surprised. I could see it.
I think 17.5 is a little too high too. Next
I
up,
agree.
the real USC at number 16, Arkansas.
I took Arkansas, but also it's another game where like I could definitely see South Carolina winning this. I really could.
I'll take Arkansas as well.
All because of Spencer Rattler.
Yep, I'm going Arkansas as well. All right, next up, App State at number 6, Texas A&M.
Imagine Texas A&M having to go to App State as well. I think we would all take App State straight up. But even though I don't think any of us think Texas A&M should be 6th, I'm still going to take them.
Dude, I want App State to win this game so bad.
Me too, but I think App State has shown their defense is also not very good, but that's also playing a Power 5 team, but still. I mean, the offense is explosive, so I straight up actually would not be surprised if they actually did win, just because of how explosive their offense appears to be.
Yeah, I'm taking Texas A&M as well, but yeah, if App State competes and they can squeeze this one out, I will be the biggest App State fan.
I'll say this right now. Give me App State in the points.
No, you're not.
Yeah, no, I'm actually taking Appalachian State. I'm not even joking. Give me the Mountaineers for the upset at Texas A&M.
That would be that game probably. That would be very close to the Michigan because I mean Michigan was 5 and it was at Michigan, but I don't know what the point spread is for that.
Hey, you know what? I'm honestly surprised none of us had Chase Bryce as our stunner of the week. That dude.
That's a good point.
Oh.
Well, we didn't have Chase Bryce, and we also didn't have the Iowa quarterback, whatever his name is.
Yeah, for a bummer. All right. Next up, number 23, Wake Forest with Sam Hartman back under center at, believe it or not, undefeated Vanderbilt.
If they did have Sam Hartman, I would have seriously contemplated actually taking Vandy. And I feel like if Sam Hartman wasn't there, this would be like well within a touchdown or less point spread. I mean, we'll see how well he does coming back for the first time since practice, since he last practiced. So I'm going to take Wake, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's rusty and Vandy's somehow able to take advantage. And suddenly Vandy's looking like the Vandy of when James Franklin was last there back in 2015 or 16, where they were ranked and were going to host Alabama, and people were hyped for Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I am actually taking Vanderbilt.
Ooh.
I'm actually taking Vanderbilt, dude. I think Mike Wright. I think Mike Wright's a stud, man. I think, Sam Hartman coming back hasn't been able to do a lot of football stuff the past couple of weeks.
You guys might make me have to might switch back.
Vandy's hot right now, man. I'm feeling it.
I'm going Wake because Sam Hartman's back, but I really contemplated taking Vandy. I just think this week's going to show Vandy's still the worst team in the SEC. So, give me Wake.
That's not how you spell Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that Vandy was how you spelled Auburn.
Yeah.
No, sorry. No, LSU.
I thought Ryan misspelled something again.
No. All right.
I was
next
like, well,
up,
I'm not surprised.
number 10 USC at Stanford. This is
a lot of people are saying that Stanford
at this game, and it's a 7.
They're not at this game.
Game.
No, College Game is out at this game. Never mind.
But it's still a Saturday night game on ABC.
Dude, Stanford can legitimately win this one.
Hey, people forget Stanford. The last 3 seasons, Stanford has beat USC 2 of the last 3 times. And guess what? Both games have been by 21 or more.
Yeah, so Stanford blew them out.
Stanford blew them out last year at USC.
Yep.
I'll still take USC, but no, it's close.
I'm taking the upset here. Give me Stanford and the Cardinal.
I like that.
Lucas?
I like that. I'm taking USC in this one just because I honestly do think they win, but I would love it if Stanford I hate both of these fucking teams. Yeah, I'm still gonna take USC.
Okay. Next up, number 1 Alabama at Texas. Is Texas finally back?
I'm taking Bama in the points.
Yeah, I'm taking Bama and the points. Connor?
Bama and the points.
And the points. Yeah. Yeah, it's it's one of those games, man. This is where game day is gonna be.
I'll say this right now. People thought the Georgia-Oregon game was bad. This game could be really freaking bad, man. It could get really bad. All right. This might be considered maybe the game of the week. Number 24 Tennessee at number 17 Pittsburgh.
Tennessee's a favorite, and Pittsburgh looks decent. But Tennessee's offense is much more explosive, and I want to see Hendon Hooker continue to do well because, one, that'll just reconfirm how bad Justin Fuente was to me. So give me Tennessee.
My favorite hooker. Give me the balls. I'm going with the balls.
And her name's Hendon.
And her name's Hendon.
Give me Tennessee, the Fighting Volunteers. All right, next up, another big one. The number 9 Baylor Bears at number 21 BYU. This is a night game, so this would be 10:15 Connor's time. And this is going to be an 9:15 my time and what?
7:15 for
Lucas.
Sheesh.
This is a late game. I don't know if
God,
Baylor can do the time change like that.
Well, it's only an hour back from them because they're 2 hours back in Texas. So it's maybe only an hour back for BYU.
I don't know what it is there. But
who are you taking?
I'm taking the good old Cougar Hunters. Give me the fighting Zach Wilsons.
Quite
the fighting Zach Wilsons and BYU. I think them boys are gonna roll, man.
All right. Well, I might be the only one. I'm gonna go Baylor here. Just to
of course
be
you are, because that's your team.
No, Baylor's my boys. I would be kind of happy if BYU wins this game because Notre Dame plays them in I think 3 weeks. So that would make that game just a lot better for Notre Dame if they were to win.
That's why I want BYU to win.
Yeah, give me the Baylor Bears just to be different.
Yeah, I'll take Baylor as well. Though Zach Wilson, unfortunately, will not be able to make anyone proud because he's not going to be playing. But I can understand where he got his affinity from since he went to BYU. It makes
Cougar hunting.
Yeah. He was done with all the soaking and jumping, and he wanted the
soaking.
After this game, I think
you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's disgusting.
After this game, I think the Baylor players can finally rest easy knowing that their moms are safe.
They're not safe, dude. He's hurt. He's on the prowl right now. He's not even playing this weekend.
Only the people in New York City have to worry about it. Okay.
Number 20, Kentucky. At number 12, Florida.
So I just saw that Chris Rodriguez, the running back for Kentucky, is going to be out again. There's some weird NCAA matter that he's dealing with. Josh or put in the comments what exactly is going on with that. And I'm tempted to take Kentucky on the road. I think Florida is hot potentially, and I think AR-12 or AR-12.
AR-12.
That's Aaron Rodgers. That's Aaron Rodgers.
AR-12.
AR-12, but AR-15. It'll be good. Josh is saying Kentucky by 20.
Kentucky by 20, dude. Don't call how much you're gonna win by. Trust
Look
me.
how it worked for Lucas.
It doesn't work. All right, Florida by blowout. Florida by blowout. Florida by 46.
All right. So wait, who did you guys take?
Taking Florida.
Lucas.
Yeah, I'm taking the Gators.
Oh,
The Gators.
I've been on this since the beginning of the season. Kentucky by a touchdown. Will Levis has a Heisman moment. So give me the Fighting Cats. Yeah.
Give you the Fighting Josh Bryants.
Just kidding. He didn't play very well last week. Ryan, you got tricked. Huh, nerd.
All right. Next up. Boston College at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is a 2.5-point favorite.
And this is the night game on ACC Network. Dear God. Great choice, guys. Great choice.
I took Boston College.
So Boston College loses to Rutgers and gives Rutgers fans hope. BC loses to ODU for the second time and gives ODU fans hope.
Oh. All right.
Yep.
Luke,
Boston College.
Give me Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech gets back in the win column this week.
I'm waiting to see what Josh says because I totally torn on who to take, honestly. Josh taking VT. Wow.
Ooh.
So, if I took VT, if I took VT, that means Lucas would gain a point on all of us because I would be totally wrong because I feel like I'm like every time I take VT, they lose. At least that's how it's been for the most part. I would have to go back and see. I would have to find my notebook and go back to all last year to see.
So you're going VT, Connor?
I mean, the
He
one
really
thing
doesn't
about-
know.
I will
So
admit,
funny.
even though it's Brent Pry, even though despite what happened with Brent Pry, it's the first game of the season and it's a night game, and as we saw last year, that is night games are really VT usually does pretty good.
I'll say this,
Like,
Connor, and this might help ease some of your pain. The ODU game was much more evidence of the fact of how much of shambles that Justin Fuente.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree.
And instead of it more being Brent Pry's a terrible coach.
I totally agree. It was more Brent Pry or not Brent Pry, but Justin Fuente leaving the team in shambles with no talent whatsoever. Because literally we have our best receivers are transfer, and then we have like our best receiver that was on the team last year was a 3-year walk on.
And your best quarterback's a transfer.
Exactly. Our two best quarterbacks are both transfers. So
I keep telling you guys to start the damn freshman, but nobody listens to me.
I don't even know who
the
we
kid
have
from
as
last
freshman
year, yes. The one that
Probably
was
because you're running
Taj Bullock? You mean Taj Bullock?
yes.
I will admit when we put him in the bowl game, he actually looked decent. Actually led the team on a touchdown game. So I'll take VT.
Name for a couple plays, and I liked what I seen.
Yeah, I'll take VT.
Okay.
He was a true freshman last year, so he'd be a true sophomore this year. But I'll take VT for now.
Next up, the Fighting Cooper Cups at Oregon.
Cooper Kupp will come back to see his team lose. Give me Oregon.
Yep, give me the Ducks.
There's a gigantic hole in
Yeah, it's pretty easy. The Oregon's going to win this game.
It's on Pac-12.
Like I said, I want to see 70 points, man.
Yeah, see, look,
I want
this is
70.
the one of the wide receivers we had last year who transferred to Kentucky. That was our second best receiver.
Oh,
we had.
Trayvon Robinson, that dude's a beast.
Yeah, he transferred. That shows how much in shambles Fuente left the team. Where'd that moth go?
All right, next up,
Hey, yo,
my
where'd that
team.
moth-
That moth.
Marshall Fighting Herd at number 8 Notre Dame. I just realized this might be the first time since we've done this show that only one of us has a team in the top 25. So,
This is like the first time where we didn't have multiple of our teams ranked at one point.
All right, I'm taking Marshall Notre Dame out of the top 25 this week.
Connor fighting
No, I'm
Mothman.
taking Notre
Yeah,
Dame.
no, dude. I'm probably about 2 hours. I'm probably an hour and a half away from where Mothman lives, dude. But
Connor, who you got?
we are Marshall will lose. I ruined it by repeating myself.
All right.
Yeah, definitely Notre Dame for sure. Do they win by points? I think they will. I'll take Notre Dame in the points.
So is this? Hey, you know what? I'm going with Lucas on kind of his game. I'm looking for 70-3. That's what I'm looking
Okay,
for.
they're not going to win by that.
Their offense is not going to be that. Notre Dame
Okay, give me 56-7, and I'll take it.
That's still not going to happen. Maybe 26-7.
If I had to guess, I would say 49-14. 17.
Marshall, it'll be guaranteed it'll be like 21. It'll be like 21-14 or something, like at halftime.
That's old Notre Dame.
No,
That's old
Notre
Notre
Dame.
All right. Our Week 0 podcast team of the year. Southern Miss at number 15, Miami.
Despite, I love Cam, but I gotta take Miami. They're probably gonna smack the crap out of them, unfortunately.
I'm taking Miami, but I'm taking Miami, but I really
we've had
don't
our whole
want to
show
take
now. We've had cars, we've had honking, and then we've had a cat or a dog making some noise.
I really don't want to take Miami in the points here, though. I'll take Miami, but I don't know that they win by 25.
All right. I'll say this. I'm sorry, Cam. I'm taking Miami, but Cam does get another interception this week, and
Okay.
Cam is some about defensive player of the year.
And he will have a punt return for a touchdown.
Ooh, nice.
And a punt return for a touchdown. But Tyler Van Dimes will throw a dime straight to Cam.
This is a good podcast. Thanks, man. We're trying really hard.
Thanks, John.
It's a good podcast.
I like how he's just pretending like he just came in, just found us.
This is so good, guys. I'm glad I joined today.
Was this actually a one ticket game, or what's the cheapest ticket in Arizona? $5.
You can get a
I
ticket
looked.
for $1.
You can get a ticket for $1.
Yep.
So here's the thing. I looked for a $1 ticket, a true $1 ticket game. And the cheapest tickets I could find were a $5 ticket to the Maryland game. Now, we picked Maryland last week, so I didn't want to do it
That's
again.
That's Maryland at Charlotte, though. That's at Charlotte. It's not Maryland hosting again.
It was still a Maryland game.
You don't
So
want to do the same one in a week.
I didn't want to do Maryland again. So then I chose I chose this one. It was like I want to say it was like a $10 game or something like that, $10 ticket. So yeah, it was still a super cheap ticket to Arizona. And you guys might be surprised here because I'm going with the Wildcats again.
See, I'm not surprised. I'm going Arizona as well.
Who did Mississippi State beat last week?
Memphis.
That was in our Pickems.
Yep.
They kind of beat them pretty bad, but Memphis isn't that good this year, I don't think.
No, they're not. I'll also take the Wildcats. Give me the Cats.
Ooh, baby.
Ooh. Oh man. All right. Last game of the
Who'd
night.
you take, Ryan?
I
Mississippi
took
State?
Arizona.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you guys are hopping on the Wildcat train.
Last game. This is the Friday game for.
Ooh, Josh is taking Mississippi
So
State.
this game, funny enough, Louisville is playing while we're doing our show. They will be
We're gonna
playing
play again next during our show.
During our show.
Currently losing right now.
So
You're losing. Okay, give me FSU.
let me actually see what the score of that game is.
Who does FSU play this week?
I actually couldn't tell you. Hold on.
Give me
Probably
FSU.
like some.
So Florida State plays. Let's see. Florida State. Where are you? Oh, they play. Wait, did they not play this week?
They don't have a bye.
Are they on a bye?
It's really early.
They're on a bye. Yeah, they're on a bye.
They did play week 0, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I think I noticed that actually. Now I think about it, like teams that play week 0, they get 2 buys. They get one early and then they get one later.
UCF
Because
is up.
technically, week 0 is a bye for every team that doesn't play it.
That's true.
That's how they call
UCF
it.
is up right now, 14-7. And
Gotcha.
it's driving. So, all right.
Cool.
So
Cool.
who are we taking?
I already said FSU.
All right.
Yeah, I'm taking FSU as well.
I hate to do it. But give me FSU. I really want to take
Josh,
Louisville here, but
I was taking FSU. That's a clean sweep.
so no points will be lost.
Go.
All right. Well,
I don't know what game you missed on mine, but yeah, I am 27 and I'm 27 and 15 right now in the picks.
I'll just add one so we have that on there.
Weird.
But anyway, Lucas, your first show hosting. Now you get to take us out.
That much.
It doesn't really. It's hard to host when I don't have like access.
I'll
to
have
that
to get
stuff,
you.
but
Have to.
No,
you'll
it's
have-
fine. I don't want it. I don't want the responsibility.
Don't worry, I'll take it. We'll be back. We'll be back to our normal scheduled programming next week.
Yes.
Today was hectic for me. Literally, it's been a 13-hour day for me. Actually,
When
14.
Connor's not so tired.
Dude, I woke up at 7.
Connor's gonna go take a nap after this show.
Dude, no, I still have stuff. I have to bring my TV and all my stuff from my car.
See, Connor, this is why you hire movers.
Well, we did, but we hired movers for the big stuff like the couch I'm sitting on. We didn't touch
Connor,
that stuff.
That sounds like a personal problem. No, I'm moving too. It's gonna suck. We're all doing it ourselves. But luckily, I'm only moving like literally a block down the street. So it's gonna be pretty easy.
You're also gonna love. You'll be where my desk is located. You'll be able to see part of my kitchen because my apartment is.
Hey, you know what? My desk is in my kitchen. So
No. But what it is my apartment. It's like
My desk is my kitchen.
No, my place is what they call it a shotgun apartment because the doors. If you open the doors from the living room that I'm in, then it goes living room, then bedroom, then kitchen in the back.
Huh.
Yeah, Josh is right. It had it all: cars, cats, 2 hours of content. Always glad to be here.
all right.
There you go, Josh.
That's a typical week 0 podcast show.
Josh is our boy. He's our boy.
That's why we
Love
stream
to
for
have
so long because if we don't hear all of that stuff, then
You can't end the show.
then we can't. We have to keep going until we hear it. That's why it's over 2 hours usually.
All right, Lucas,
Yep.
you want to take us out?
All right.
You got to make sure you do from wherever you are.
And that was the Week 0 podcast from Connor's ass cheek. We will see you all next week. Same time, hopefully. But yeah.
Hopefully, all of our teams go 3-0 this week.
Hopefully we all win some games and we'll be happy. I will be at the Ducks game this weekend, so I'll take some photos probably for our Instagram that you can follow that is right down there at the bottom of the screen. And last but not least, go Ducks, go Irish, go Hokies, and huck the Fuskies. All right, good night, boys.
Huskies.